Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the same lady here representing TeamJVS. Here to give you guys another movie review. Hopefully, you guys are having a happy holidays and a good new year. I'm here to talk about MaXXXine, and yes, this is the third final film from Ty West epic X, and of course Pearl follow up, and then MaXXXine. So MaXXXine is back from X. If you saw Pearl, you know that that's more so a prequel of the character Pearl that was the crazy older lady in the first X movie, whereas this is the follow-up from, MaXXXine, like where she was in the adult film industry, and now moving into this film, she's given a shot to actually be a true movie star and go into Hollywood to try to seek her dreams. But, when you clash with death the way that MaXXXine does, it's gonna follow you around. And unfortunately, the era that she's in, there's an actual serial killer that's around that is actually taking young girls, killing them, and a lot of other heinous things are actually happening. But we know MaXXXine, and she does not back down from anyone. So, first off, Mia Goth is a chameleon. Like, she disappears into any role that she's in. Like, she is so dedicated. And I think that there's a stark contrast from how MaXXXine was from the first movie to this one. Like, she's completely herself. She's immersed herself into who she is. She's as scary at times. And I think, truth be told, from a narrative standpoint, I think that I would have leaned more into who MaXXXine needs to become than anything. Because I think you don't go through something as tragic as the first movie and then be sane. And you see it. There's one of the scariest scenes in this film is with Mia Goth's character MaXXXine in an alleyway with somebody that's trying to mug her. And what she does to that individual and how she does it is probably as terrifying. And I was kind of like, oh, this woman is capable of anything. And anybody that, crosses her, the only thing that's interesting is because MaXXXine is also going through PTSD at the same time as being malicious. Like, she's as cold and calculated and willing to go the distance by any means necessary, but at the same exact time, she's dealing with her own PTSD and her own traumas, unfortunately, through all of this. So it's a huge cast. It's stacked. You got Kevin Bacon playing the role of John. Kevin in this is actually insane. Like, he and Mia have great screen chemistry. Like, it's actually really insane how they actually pair them off and what they do with them. You got Elizabeth Debicki, Sophia Thatcher, that was just in Heretics. She's a freaking amazing. And if you've seen Yellow Jackets, she's also amazing in that. Halsey, Lily Collins, Michelle Monaghan, Bobby Cornwell, and I think that Moses Momsley is in this as well. But as far as Sophia Thatcher's character, she plays an FX artist, and Elizabeth's character is kind of like the big person that's kind of giving, Mia's character MaXXXine her chance. Michelle Monaghan plays a detective, and she kind of works with Bobby's character. And they're trying to discover kind of like who is the actual serial killer. And truth be told, like, during the second half of the film, I really didn't know. Like, I was kind of like, is there an actual serial killer, or is this something else going on? And I think that self-discovery of where the narrative was going, especially going from the first act to the second act, it was near perfect to me, because I truly did not know where this was going to go. I think the issue that I had with the narrative of this, and to me, it fell flat, like literally looking up into the sky with the helicopter flat by the third act. Like, it just was kind of like, it was a build up to something, and I think it just did not service as good as how it was building up. And maybe that was my own perspective, but I feel like they could have done so many other things. Heck, they had my man Giancarlo Esposito in this film. I just literally did a review about something else, and he was in this, and he's just a chameleon. Anything he pops himself into, like, he's gonna completely immerse himself into. But I do feel like it was a failed opportunity in the third act, and it's the only thing to me that hurts this film, because it's all there. Like, I mean, the shots and the cinematography and the lighting. Any night shot, like, you see everything that's going on, every heinous little moment. And then when it's light, like, you're afraid that her past is gonna like torment the situation or torment her. And I think they do a lot of good jobs with imagery and processing, and I think we really get to understand how deep or dark this situation really gets, and also how deep and dark from a Hollywood standpoint is. Like, it's very dangerous. It feels very dangerous. At any given moment, you're feeling like anybody can get it, and anybody could be the ultimate killer. Anybody on this cast. And I thought that was a really interesting thing. I think Halsey did a really good job for what she was given. But I think the biggest thing is that even the soundtrack was really good. Like, I feel like the framings of this was framed perfectly. Like, this was something that I think could have been his real lead off. And I think that they just needed him to kind of close up shop, unfortunately. And it just was not as fulfilling as how it's set up. And I think that there are moments in this feel like even better than the first one or the second one, but it just doesn't pay off the way that I would have hoped it would have. But the acting from Mia is impeccable, amazing. Kevin Bacon is on all cylinders. And I think everybody is kind of like completely committed. It's just the way that certain narratives and certain characters that kind of pop up out of nowhere, it really messes with the pacing. It really messes with even the way that the narrative even makes sense. It just seems like, yeah, it just didn't live up to, unfortunately, to what I was hoping it was going to be. But that doesn't say it isn't good, but yeah, it's a failed effort in terms of comparing it to the first one or the second one. I'd rest it at a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. I want to give it a little bit higher, but if I did, it would be only because of the amazing certain scenes that Nia just demolishes, and as dark as she is, like, it's really well done. And I think it's just framed really well, and it's shot really well, directed really well, acted pretty well. It's just the narrative just didn't live up, unfortunately. But let me know what you guys think of MaXXXine. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for another great year. Team JVS really appreciates you. Peace, everybody.